Good morning, students. How are you? Okay, please take your history book, page number 34. Take the pencil in hand and ready to listen to me. Okay, this video is meant to discuss the next phase of the Turkish invasion. First one was the Mahmud Ghazni. Today we will discuss about Muhammad Ghori. Muhammad Ghori was the Ghor was a small kingdom in the mountains of Afghanistan. Remember, all these are Turkish nobles. They came and captured the area of Afghanistan. Mahmud of Ghazni had defeated the ruler of Ghor and made him his vassal. So Mahmud of Ghazni had defeated the ruler of Ghor and made him the vassal of his vassal. That means whatever he will say. See the vassal. What is the meaning of vassal? Okay, so he was subjected, made his own subject and use him for his benefit. So correct meaning, exact meaning, you see for yourself. Little do your homework. Some of you find so difficult to turn up the dictionary. I will not tell you exact meaning. That you will see, then you will understand. Vessel. After the death of Mahmud Ghazni, the Ghaznavid Empire, whole Ghaznavid Empire, lost its power and was succeeded by Ghor. Ghaznis were succeeded by Ghors after the death of Mahmud Ghazni, and succeeded by Ghor ruler Muzi-ud-Din Muhammad. It's quite difficult to pronounce the Arabian Persian name. He not only made Ghor independent but also conquered the Ghaznavid territories. Meaning, who is this Muzi? First of all, he was the Muzi-ud-Din Muhammad. He succeeded that means he captured the whole Ghaznavid Empire and he became the ruler. Not only that, whatever territories Ghaznavid had made, and then after they are lost, that was independently they were ruling, recaptured them. Who? This Mahmud Ghori. He recaptured them and annexed them to his kingdom. Conquered Ghaznavid territories. Muzi-ud-Din Muhammad was popularly now known as Muhammad Ghori, as he was crowned with the name of Muhammad Ghori. He was an ambitious ruler, very determined, jealous and ambitious ruler. Zealous, not jealous, zealous. Historians are of the opinion, they think that it was Muhammad Ghori who actually was the founder of Turkish Empire in India. So how it happened, we will discuss here. Though he was preceded, not succeeded. Preceded, opposite, succeeded. Preceded means those who came before him, rulers before him, like Muhammad bin Qasim, Muhammad Ghazni, and so on. They were predecessor to him. So therefore they preceded him before. They were also Turkish, but actually Muhammad Ghori is considered, according to the historian, considered to be the real founder of the Turkish rule in India. So Muhammad Ghori wanted to expand his empire and acquire more power by conquering other territories of India. He was interested in invading India because of its enormous wealth. Plenty of wealth India had. India was a rich country. So he always thought that he will invade India and take the wealth, like Muhammad Ghazni, Mahmud of Ghazni. He also wanted. He was also aware that the fact that India was politically not stable, politically, militarily, it was not stable, weak, not efficient, not organized, weak. Hence, he diverted his all attention and power in conquering India. So, whatever it will be. Now he stopped conquering the territories, but he came towards the east to invade India. Why? Two things. He saw the opportunities that Indian armies were not capable, not well organized, they were weak. This was an opportunity. Secondly, India was very rich. Okay. And thirdly, he wanted to expand his kingdom and so conquered it. It is believed that he led several invasions against India and was succeeded in most of them. In most of the invasions, he succeeded. So, what are the invasions? Major ones are here dated in 1175. He captured Multan. In 1178, he invaded Gujarat, but was defeated, and he had to go back. But do you think that he went and did not come? He might have come back again. By 1186, he had captured Peshawar and Punjab. Peshawar and Punjab, this is the whole of Pakistan area, present Pakistan. He conquered Punjab as he understood that it will be easier to conquer India if he had a base in Punjab. That is part of, today it is in Pakistan. All this area he based. Pakistan, he made, present Pakistan, he made the base. That is the where he had training ground. And then he invaded time to time to India, this side, towards the east. The first one, important battle of terrain. In 1191, with the aim to conquer the whole of India, Muhammad Ghori, those days, let me tell here, whole of India, it doesn't mean South India was not counted those days. The northern part of India. Whole of India, so he had the idea of conquering whole of India. Muhammad Ghori marched towards Delhi. It was at terrain. It was the terrain that he fought against the Rajput king of Delhi and Ajmer. He was the king of Delhi and Ajmer. Rajput king, one king. Prithviraj Chauhan. His name was Prithviraj Chauhan. So Prithviraj Chauhan was the strong ruler of Delhi and Ajmer both. And so he wanted to conquer him. He received a crushing defeat. Who? Muhammad Ghori. He was defeated at the hands of Prithviraj Chauhan and was forced to recede, go back. Recede means go back. The Rajput king did not attempt to expel the Ghorid, that means the armies of Ghor, from Punjab. So he had made already base in Punjab. But then they did not think that again they will come. So Indians, they said, we have defeated, that is enough. So they went back, going back home. No, that was not enough. These people, they were not very intelligent, not shrewd, therefore they thought like that. And so they did not think that they should expel them from the area, from the province of Punjab. As he did not view Ghori to be the threat to his empire. But Ghori soon started reorganizing his force for the second battle. Immediately he reorganized his soldiers. He saw the weaknesses and then he came back. with greater force. Okay, greater force. So, second battle of Taray. Second battle of Taray. In 1192, 91 he did. 92, 1192, Ghori invaded India once again. This time he was better equipped as he had been supported by the three forces. Three groups of soldiers came together and united themselves and then fought against Prithviraj Chauhan. And this, let me tell this, I feel like telling you, therefore let me tell that there were some enemies of Prithviraj Chauhan, our Indian Hindu kings. They were fighting among themselves. So there were some enemies of him. These enemies were known to Muhammad Ghori. These fellows, he came and told what is the plan of Prithviraj Chauhan. So Jaichand told everything to the foreigners, the Muhammad Ghori. And so he revealed the plan of Prithviraj Chauhan. And you see now, I'll read now. What happens? They were better equipped. So with how many soldiers he came? 1,20,000 soldiers, by establishing the help of, taking the help of Turkish soldiers, Afghan soldiers, where they were ruling, and Persian soldiers from where they came. Persian soldiers, all these soldiers came together, fought against Prithviraj Chauhan and defeated and killed him. And his territory of Delhi and Ajmer were captured by Muhammad Ghori. Finished. Raja Jaichand Rathore of Kanaus was the next target. This fellow had helped him to defeat Prithviraj Chauhan. Now he will be defeated. So, though Jaichand had helped Ghori in defeating Prithviraj Chauhan by revealing his plan, see that Ghori defeated him in 1194. After 2 years only he defeated him. He thought he will help him. No, he himself was defeated and left Qutbuddin Aibak as his viceroy in Kanaus. So whole area, the Delhi area was taken up. Delhi, Ajmer, or northwestern frontier, all were under Ghori, Muhammad Ghori. I think I am going to stop here. Next day I will explain next what happened. Next class. Okay. This much is enough. Thank you.